Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome or welcome back. I am EBINOTTI, and today we are doing the summer solstice reading. Okay, so we're a little bit late on the solstice. It's been about a week and a half since the energy crossed us, and we had the longest day of the year, and we started the summer season off. The summer solstice also brought, which would have been June 22nd, if you're on that calendar vibe. Okay, so the summer solstice also brought us the crossing from Gemini season into Cancer season, and oh, what a transition it has been. So a lot of Gemini season, if you watch the Gemini new moon readings, I highly recommend you do. All 5 of the elementals are absolutely bang on. As a whole, as a collective, for what we've been going through, just kind of the big picture challenges that we have been faced with, whether we're focusing on certain areas of our life or things are kind of coming at us from certain areas of our life. Gemini season brought a huge shift in the collective where things got amplified, finally coming out of winter season and feeling some of that energy, even though most of the energy we felt was likely tension. That doesn't mean it's been all bad. You know what I mean? Go back and watch the readings. There is so much good to focus on and so much positive change happening in the best of ways, but it's not always comfortable. Sometimes it's riddled with fear. What's that movie where they say, why does nobody talk about the fear? Anastasia or something, one of those Disney ones. Yeah, it's definitely Anastasia. Okay, anyways, coming back to grounded. So today is currently July 1st, 2024, which means it's Canada Day. For those of you who are new, once again, welcome to the collective of EBINOTTI. I am EBINOTTI. And if you don't know, I'm Canadian. So it's Canadian Canada Day today. And you might hear some of the sirens or there's helicopter rides going on. There's all kinds of stuff going on outside. But I wanted to take a minute to sit with the collective and address the summer solstice. I was going to say the solstice. Exactly. There's the duality and the doubling up and the everything comes in pairs, groups, waves. And like I said, there's a lot of positive that we will get into talking about that with the downloads. But when it feels overwhelming, when it feels like fear or a fucking panic attack, that's still kind of lingering out here, even though, like I said, we've crossed now into Cancer season, which is lovely, bringing up all the wonderful, like family-based, tribal-based, motherly, safe space-based energies that we are so in need of right now. So I'm loving that feeling, especially today, watching all the families getting together and doing their rituals, their celebrations, the things that people like to focus on and come together for in Canada on this day. So in that, there's this real big energy. I'm going to keep setting up because I hit record way before I was fully set up. I'm going to keep setting up. But as we talk through the downloads for the summer solstice energy. And again, summer solstice is like the one event, which we don't always get to do the video up before that actual event, but it's about doing the rituals and being in the moment and kind of processing through our own rituals, especially until we can go live and stuff on YouTube. We won't likely have those bang up right on time. Sometimes they're way early and that's just how it goes. But this summer, I just kicked something under my desk. I totally forgot that was there. Okay, whoo. With the summer solstice, it is a seasonal energy. Okay, the one event is something that we all feel, but I always felt like, especially with fire and the summer solstice, it's such a personal event. It's something that a lot of us spend time alone around that actual solstice day / night. But especially by the night time, the shortest night of the year, it feels very individual. If we haven't addressed our own goals, our own fears, the things that we've got going on in our situations by the solstice, then it's likely something that you're going to go very independent, very solo, very kind of in your hermit, safe space energy. So maybe you've been watching a lot of movies or spending a lot of time alone, reading books, nature walks, spending time in nature or in your little kitchen, or around the house, putting around, cleaning things, decluttering things. It's such a lovely time, the whole summer season, to really get some alone time, some good old-fashioned quality time with yourself. And that's the first thing that's really coming up for the summer solstice, is the independence, the just alone time. There's like the darker aspects and some of the more emotional stuff coming through about loneliness, how many people are really kind of like desiring and even desperate for that companion, that space. And I want to bring into the collective that the desperation, we all know, can be totally discarded. But everything else outside of that is so real and so beautiful. And like anything else that you desire or want to manifest in your life, it's about that alignment, lining up to that thing so that it can come into your life, especially if it's meant for you. And if you get to the point where you desire things, and as soon as you've really cultivated that desire, where all the fine tuning and all the details have been put into it, you release it into and if it's meant for me, it is mine. If it's meant for me, I want it. It's like making a wish with the disclaimer that if it's not meant for me, though, I don't want it. It can just be a fantasy that I lived, in my little mind's eye. So once you get to that point, you've really achieved kind of like a new plateau or a new level within the manifesting realm. So the realms of magic, or if you want to call it like the levels of magic or power, really comes down to things like that. Okay, so once you've got to that point where you're desiring things constantly and you have some real key ones, like for me, and I've talked about it, if you follow EBINOTTI in different places, or if you've watched all the videos here, I've talked about it before. I really love manifesting right now this dream home, this idea of buildings, architecture, homes, properties, gardens, patios, pool decks, like you name it. It's there. It's in the mind's eye, and it's what my spirit really enjoys desiring right now, because it's one of the few things that feels like it's outside of me. So therefore my spirit can reach for it, can imagine how wonderful it's going to be. And yet there's no resistance in the current situation or, coming back. There's always, like in manifestation, they always talk about the coming back. And right now in the summer season, there's just no, who's spending time on that? No one's coming back to nothing. We dream the daydream, we nap on the beach, or we do our life, we go to work, whatever it is, and we just keep going. It's, the summer season is that action-based season, and that's what's really coming through for the collective. Whether you're manifesting, you're working your ass off, you're healing from some, major moment where you're going to spend the whole summer healing, whatever it is, just accept, accept where your heart's at, accept where your spirit's at. Don't try to force. And even if what you're dreaming is so separate from what you're living, allow both things to exist within you, just in the time being, or for the time being. Because it feels really good. It feels really in balance. And like Gemini season, which we just came off of and are now in Cancer season, like Gemini season taught us, is still teaching us, which is why part of the reason I'm wearing black and white today, to signal that duality. Both are allowed to exist here. Okay, we are allowed to have black and white. We are allowed to have opposites. We are allowed to have the as above not looking exactly like the so below. Do you see what I'm saying? Like the big dream as opposed to the reality, both satisfied. We're satisfied whether we're daydreaming or fantasizing, imagining, desiring. We're satisfied when we're here, grounded in reality, going to work, getting annoyed by something, embarrassing ourselves. That's one that humility is a big one for the ambitious out here. For the ones with darker, stronger kind of ego, where it's not as integrated and not as healing, humility is always going to be a big lesson to learn. And trust me, my name is Ebony and I have struggles with humility. or ego, you could say, or demons. Like, how the fuck do you want to look at it? And that's why I call myself a dark worker too, because it's about bringing dark into the light. If you are an all light being and you need to learn to exist in a man's world or in a 1 + 1 = 2 logical third dimensional earth world, then you have to bring some dark into it. Otherwise, you're going to be walking around here innocent, pure, naive as a child. You have to have those darker aspects, you know. So look no further than the public education system to teach you how to lie, manipulate, cheat, memorize, and survive in the world, because that's how it is out here. I'm not saying everyone lies, cheats, or anything like that, but you do have to be aware that those things happen. So if you're running a business, you know how to pick an honest person, someone you can rely on, and you have to be an honest person to be able to recognize that. So cheers to you. Just having some coffee sips today. Okay, I'm not gonna, oh, maybe I will. It's Canada Day. It's Canada Day. I didn't bring an incense in, so I'm just gonna get our little smudge going here before we get the cards ready and make sure my phone is on silent. Okay, my lovelies. So I'm going to pick out our decks now. We're doing Summer Solstice 2024. That's the only way to really put a number on this. But whenever you get this message, if you found yourself here, there's probably something in this for you. What else can I tell you while we are getting our cards? Oh, I already know for sure we are using this lovely oracle deck. I might need to pull the book on this one too, depending what cards come out, but this is the Divination Oracle. Why can I not think of the name of this? By Cheryl Lee Harnish. I actually have all 3 of her decks, and I highly recommend them as oracle cards, whether you're beginner, novice, whatever. And on the bottom, since it wants to be seen so badly, this was my bottom of the deck for a little card pull last night. On Target is the name of that card. So we'll keep her face okay, and for sure. You know what? There's so many oracle cards want to come out right now. It's crazy. The dragons also want to do their thing. I'm going to light our little smudge here right quick, or we'll never get to it, because literally, and even under her, the Anubis, the Egyptian oracle, wants to come through as well. We're going to do the goddesses as well. 3 oracle decks. It's Canada Day. We're going ham. Just hammy ham. No, we're gonna... Actually, yeah. Yeah. Don't worry, I'm just talking to myself. Okay, and those are going in the Santa. It's a very tiny little desk. I really need to get myself a bigger desk. But the space is like, it just works so nicely as is, guys. You know? You just got to make it work until you can build it. Ooh, or find it built exactly how you would have built it. Oh, shout out to the mirrors out there with the twinning energy coming up again. We're going to get into this. Okay, so dream homes. Let's talk about that for a second in terms of downloads. The dream home. Okay, you can build your dream home, but I can tell you something right now. We are not as educated as we think we are. We think we're... 2024, we think we are just the most evolved, amazing creatures that ever walked this fucking planet. And can I say, what an eye-opener when we learn? No. Because you look no farther than the study of architecture to show you exactly how unevolved and just sad, so sad, man is today. We think, oh, it's the Western world, you know. I'm in Canada, like I said. Sup? And we think Canada and the United States are like, you know, super modern first world countries and awesome. But we don't have architecture like, you know, like Europe or something. That's the big thing. You know, I'm part European, so that'll be the bias. We're going to go there, like Europe. We're not like the Romans, you know. We don't have the Greek columns and all the fancy yada yada with the cathedrals. People don't even realize like how intense the architecture of Europe is. And then whoop, it's not just Europe. You think some third world ass country doesn't have a cathedral, like look up the Milan Cathedral. Just Google Milan Cathedral or Cologne. I need to stop. My mouth is watering. Like my demons lately are just popping. But my shadow is very integrated. So it gets dark in me very quick. Okay. When you look at architecture like this, you wouldn't expect these stunning, I'll try and pop up a picture right fucking here. You wouldn't expect now to find something like that in the Americas. You're like, what do you mean? What do you mean that's in Canada? That there's a building that looks like that in Canada? A building! Can I call it a building? It's a fucking cathedral. It's like we have special names for the type of architecture I'm talking about. Bring it back to dream homes. We're not as educated as we think we are because shit like these incredible old world marble fucking carved, are you kidding me, with the columns and the floors and the statues and the roofs and the Gothic arches, do the most for me. So dream homes. You can dream of building a dream home and you can work your whole life away trying to save up, get good enough credit so they can give me a loan so I can build my dream castle. And then you're going to see some shit like this. Some girl like me is going to come along and show you a picture of something that your soul has dreamt of. You know what I mean? How are you going to build that? How are you going to build it? I live in a town where you have to have permit approval to go up a second story in your house. It's a good thing that the person I happen to fall in love with is where you can do whatever the fuck you want. You know what I mean? Because this is your land and ain't nobody's trying to pretend it's not. So, okay, we've got some work to do here, people, with dreams becoming realities. And that's why, if you're following, don't worry, we're going to skip out of this and get into cards very quickly. But if you're following, then you understand where I'm coming from. We are not going to be able to bridge the gap between the shit that we actually dream about. They tell you, be authentic. Be authentic in your desires. I desire palaces. I desire castles. I desire marble floors. You know what I mean? Because your dog's nails are not going to scratch up them floors. They're just not. They were built that way, you know? So, okay. Bringing it all together. In the world of manifestation right now, it's going to be a little chaotic. Cancer season gives us the grounding and the support that we really need right now for the people where your ambition is to change the world. And this isn't some pipe dream anymore. You know, you're going to change your world or you're going to change the world. Or if the world changes, you're going to be ready. You know, there's this energy of, I'm ready. We ready. We are ready out here. So there's like a bring it on. I just heard, woo, my shadow's like, fucking bring it on. I know we could really go dark, but we're going to keep it Cancer season today. We're going to keep it. I always think of my grandmother when it comes to Cancer season because that's the energy that Cancer has always given me. And I'm just feeling it. And we're getting close to new moon. I mean, we're right in the middle of full moon and new moon. So full moon, don't quote me, Sag or Cap, I don't know. But we're doing those full moon readings before we get into the new moon Cancer, which will be coming, I think, on July 6th, something like that. Okay, even though we're talking summer solstice, right after the summer solstice, right before the summer solstice, 666, right before the summer solstice, like a few weeks before, the 6/6 portal was a 666 portal this year. So June, 6th month, 6th of June, 6th day, and then 24 being the year. If you write it that way, 2024, it's actually an 8. It's fine. There was a 666 energy on that day that was like so mind-blowing. Did anyone else just feel a huge shift in the first week of June? I felt the solstice hit so early. Even though the days did get longer and all the physical things in like the earth realm, totally on track, totally normal. I don't know about the calendar stuff anymore. Don't ask me. I'm not an expert. I'm only human. But as a human, the actual Like summer solstice energy came like weeks early for me. And since then, we haven't really had a lot of summer weather, which is weird. I've always said that I follow the weather, and maybe you can relate to this energy, or you can work. That's why we work with the elements here, and we do it that way, because the elements and our internal world seem to be like really jiving the good jive together. They really do the most when it comes to tiptoeing us emotionally through the process. And I've always said that, whether it was work, school, what I was doing in my life, the weather when I showed up at a new location, came back home. It was like beautiful Toronto weather here in Kitimat, BC for like 3 weeks when I first got back here. And I just thought it was so weird. I was like, Mom, I don't remember Kitimat being like 35 degrees in fucking July. And she's like, I don't know what to tell you. It's been weird lately. I love my mom so much. That's like her whole vibe to everything is just, I don't know. It's been, I don't know. It's weird lately. And she just keeps on moving, No, she doesn't give a fuck about the philosophy. And I just love her so much for it. I spend so much time with the philosophies. Again, if you hear rattling, shaking, any kind of there's all kinds of shit going on today. It's barbecues and beer gardens tonight, and there's fireworks. 21:12 on the clock when I said it, which is a 3-3 kind of energy. It's all about celebration. It's all about collaboration, getting together with your homies, giving and receiving in balance. If you take the twinning energy into that, see, Gemini is still rolling with us. If you're a Gemini, how are you doing? How's it going, Gem? And if you're a Cancer, I would love to know too. I've got Cancer in my, let me see, Cancer's my moon. My moon is in Cancer, yeah. My moon is in Cancer. So the full moon this month is going to be crazy. The new moon is going to be amazing. I think any Cancer right now is probably feeling it a little. You could see it in my eyes. It's a little heavy. It's a little heavy, but we're trucking on through like we do. Cheers to you. And we're making it work. I just started a new program today. A girlfriend of mine offered a free program, and I'm so damn grateful because I'm not really living on my money right now. So it's like, do I want to like spend? Probably not going to do a program this summer. It was kind of my vibe, right? I'm going to do all this other stuff. I'm going to be too busy, blah, blah, blah. But at the perfect timing, I was offered a slip-in spot on a really amazing course that I'm so excited about. Shocking, money manifestation. But what it's really about is the alignment to who and what you are, to what you want, to what you're worth, so that you can get it. The parts that you need to get when you need to negotiate, even at McDonald's, your first job, some shit job, you need to negotiate. It is heavy. You know what I mean? Sometimes it can be so heavy, and you got to fucking get your courage and your bravery online, and you got to do the thing. And that's what I was so just like, fuck yes, was my answer to, do you want in? It was a fuck yes, I do. And I just went running through that door. So started a new program today. So very excited about it. I'm sure you'll see all kinds of chit chats about that over the next few weeks. Okay, I'm just checking, clearing the space a little bit, seeing if there's any more downloads before we shuffle and get into the cards. Now's a good time to light your incense. If you're not already just like smoking and chilling and hanging with me. What up? What up, girl? I say girl, but it's because we read divine feminine energy. Girl, guy, none of the above. I honest to fuck don't care. I just ground up some fresh coffee beans today, and I'm really enjoying the coffee. I'm on coffee number 3, if you want to know. I'll let my dark side come out just a little bit today, and we'll get really real, okay? Okay. And we'll just see. I mean, it's summer solstice. We're not doing an elemental. We're not doing anything fancy except for a reading like we always do, which is fancy, obviously. When we come together, it is, though. It's real power. So let's settle into this. I'm just having a look around, seeing if I want to light any more incense and kind of what I've got around, because I didn't bring anything in. My big thing of incense is out there. So I think we're good. We're going to have a smoke together, some herbs in my little stone pipe here for Canada Day. Smoke if you smoke, don't if you don't. I'm curious to know if anyone's tried mullein. I just picked up some. I'm into tinctures. You hear me say that before? Yep. You can check out EBINOTTI or EBINOTTI Beauty or whatever she's calling herself these days. That's me. You can check out EBINOTTI on like TikTok and stuff. I'm not really on Instagram that much, but definitely follow because I still do Instagram occasionally. But over on TikTok and wherever I'm doing short little reel videos, I'm doing tinctures and sourdough and just all kinds of like health, natural, traditional. I love learning. So it's really about, I love food. I love recipes. Right now I'm kind of on like this health kick thing. It's summertime. You know, I always get into that vibe in the summertime where I want my skin looking fresh, which means I can't be eating like all the junk food or I will break out. So I'm taking care of my body. I'm doing detoxing. I know a lot of people do intermittent fasting. This year I'm really into tinctures. So I kind of have my routines. You can check that stuff out on TikTok if you're interested. There'll be a lot more content coming out. This is pre-launch. There are a few things up now, but I've got a lot more coming. So mullein is the current one. That's a smokable herb for smokers, people with lung stuff, sinus stuff, any of that upper chakra stuff. And I am digging it. I picked some up. I hadn't done anything with it because I get like real nervous. I made my tincture with it, which is just the extraction process in alcohol. So again, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, you can either check it out or just whatever. But you make tea. You can just make tea out of mullein and just start, you know, especially when I start something new, I'm like, let's start slow. I feel like things have a really strong effect on me. So I always kind of tiptoe in the water before I go in. But if you have any experience with mullein or you really like it, or you have any tips or tricks to tinctures, teas, smoking, anything like that, because I want to do all of the above with mullein. Mullei's going to be one of the ones that I will probably grow myself. Okay, I feel like there's something missing. So let's feel out what that is here. No, we've got our candle. We've got our incense going, our smoke. Okay, we're gonna get into these cards now. We'll try to keep this one snappy as we're like a half hour in. And we'll see. We will see. Okay. Personal readings are still available. If you're interested in getting a one-on-one reading with me, you can have a pre-recorded reading or you can have a live call reading. The pre-recordeds are great because you can watch them again and again. Live calls are great because you can interact. I offer both and I like getting both myself, which is why I offer both. There's a whole bunch of other things coming from EBINOTTI this year as well. Programs, guidebooks, things like that. So keep an eye out. Hit the subscription button if you want to see more. Please like the video. Drop a comment if you want to support the channel. It always helps to circulate the videos in the beginning of these smaller channels on YouTube. Okay, it's popping. Ooh, these are shuffling so nice today. It was very windy out there today and my hair got kind of blown to hell, but it was nice to be out and about. We're going to go out a little bit later on, see the fireworks and all that good stuff. Okay, that was the one. We are ready. Cut the deck and see what's popping today. If you're curious about the decks I use, I always have them listed and linked down below. If there is nothing in the description box for that, please just drop a comment and I will fill that in and update that. It doesn't always get up as soon as I like to get the videos up as soon as possible. So, wow. On the bottom of the deck, look at that beautiful sacred geometry with the card number 4, Astral Realm. I know this one because I have seen this card lately. So the collective, what that is telling me for you is that you like me, are really going through it right now when it comes to the fifth dimension, the astral realms. Your spirit is going through it, okay? So sometimes we break a toe. Sometimes we get a sinus infection or a stomach flu and we're put out for a couple of weeks. Like, not just a minor cold. I'm talking like where you're put out for a couple of weeks. So sometimes we go through, you know, a really hard, tragic loss, or loss in general. It doesn't even have to be tragedy. Sometimes it's just a really hard loss or heartbreak or something like that. And emotionally, our emotional body puts us out. You know, we just don't fun. We drag through life if we still have to go to work, or we take the time off. We reassess even, you know, sometimes we quit our jobs in those scenarios because our emotional body is struggling. But what this astral projection, astral realms card is talking about as a theme to start us off is about the spiritual self going through not necessarily any kind of a struggle, but certainly online. Let me find our card. Ooh, okay, I can't remember exactly what this one is called, but I love that we got this card. It's something about the grid work and, again, the spiritual body. Card number 22. Let me just find, the box is so far away. And then on the bottom, I know this one too, but I also can't remember the name of it. Card number 18. So we're going to talk about those. Let me just grab the little guidebook. And of course, it didn't want to just come out the drawer. Had to get jammed on another box. Okay, it's Divine Guidance, the Oracle Cards by Cheryl Lee Harnish, if you want to get some for yourself. Okay, so we'll start off by reading our card, our first Oracle card for the reading, card number 22. Which is called The Grid. And that's so funny because it's exactly what I thought it was called. This is the grid, the living energy matrix of Mother Earth and the secret pathways to other dimensions and realities of existence. Could that be any more on point? The power of the sacred geometry within holds many keys that your subconscious is unlocking. That's dimensional wisdom, knowledge, skills, whatever's coming online for you. This card shows your ability to explore and maneuver through other worlds and to bring information back from them. You may do this in the dream time, during meditation, or even unknowingly while completely conscious and alert. Hidden within this card are messages that only you can retrieve. Sit with this one for a while. So when you get the deck, it's meant to be a guidance system for you and for others. And when you first learn card for card, you go through the experience yourself. So this is one of the cards, Master number 22, no surprise, that you are meant to sit with. And we're at 33 minutes in, yet another Master number kind of combo. So definitely the grid. If you want to sit and just like hang out with this card, you can just pause the video and do it that way. But this is one of those things where there's so many individual ways that we align and then activate. As soon as we get into alignment, things within us start activating. You could be manifesting, like myself right now, a dream home, and be activating things from your Akashic records that are so wild. Like, you could be watching a kid's movie and activate something that is like ancestral. You know what I mean? And I know you know what I mean because you felt it. You felt that click. You felt that alignment that activates. Okay, so there's a difference between aligning to healing energy, to passionate energy, so earth, air, fire, water, right? You can align to any of the elements. But within the elements, occasionally there are activations. And usually when we're feeling in resistance, when we're feeling really emotionally stuck, or any of those things that feel anything other than unconditional love, satisfaction, peace, joy, happiness, there's typically something that needs to be activated. So Oh my God, excuse me. So I would say most of the time alignment is something to live in. You know, it's that peace and zen and centered energy within the self. Activations are something that we are called to do when it's time to take action, when it's time to make a move, get prepared, create or plan, strategize, allow the mind to get on board with what the body knows is coming next, that kind of thing. Okay, so I teach both of those. I am so looking forward to talking more about that, but that's what's coming in the programs. Okay, it's when alignment is needed, it's, you know, typically easier with others and something pretty heavy, but when activation is called, it's like that's the fun stuff. That's what we all support the healing and the growth and the alignment for, is so we can be activated to be called as leaders, as create the thing that makes your life worth living. You know, sometimes it's really simple and sometimes it's not simple at all, and we're going to do this together. That's what this whole collective's about. So really tapping in there, enjoying our time by ourselves, enjoying the synchronicities, the signs, the clicks, the epiphanies, the crazy ass nights where you wake up and you are like, I have woken up soaked in sweat, like fucking what the hell was going down in my dream space. Like, and I could not fucking tell you. I don't have the slightest clue. I don't try to know. I mean, sometimes occasionally I try to work with my dream space. Like right now I'm currently working within a recurring dream, but other than that, I don't fuck with that. That's a whole nother realm, man. I am here in the 3D, and as long as my spiritual self is supported and doing what it needs to do within the grid, I'm cool. I don't need to understand it. If I need to understand it, I'll understand it, and it's as simple as that. I'm not pushing in that realm, that's for sure. I'm too alone in it, if you know what I mean. Okay, let's quickly read bottom of the deck before we get our other oracle cards out. Card number 18, the Wisdom Guide. I knew it was one of the guides, I just couldn't remember who. All these decks have guides and they're just like some of my favorite cards, so I'm like, oh, I know this one. The Wisdom Guide is here to help you with taking in new information and teachings. So because this is the bottom of the deck, this is going to be the theme for our reading, which is even more, sometimes more powerful, and definitely in this case more powerful than the actual card we got, because this is going to hit every card on the table the same way as this, but now he gets to touch everyone independently. So he's going to help us go through these processes. It's like taking a course and having somebody take you through self-help, money manifestation, alignment. Like some people get therapists, some people have big groups of friends or best friends that they spend time with every day. Other people do programs and spiritual work and knit, or like me, just like geek out. Like I'm such a nerd and I don't care. Whether you're taking courses, going back to school, or learning a new skill or craft, you will find that you're able to process and retain new information more easily. Mo better. Wisdom Guide also helps you to gain new insights and understandings through the intuitive channels, turning your knowledge into wisdom. The very first thing I heard was, do be careful. I've talked about cleaning up the channel systems before, and I'll talk about it again. Do not dabble in realms that you do not understand right now. Don't do it. What's that one where the Jamaican lady on TikTok is yelling, put it back? She's so funny. Oh my God, I laugh so hard. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I cry laugh every time I see those videos on TikTok, because you don't want to be messing where you're not supposed to be messing. And there's a, you've been messing where you, yes, boots are made for walking. I just heard come through so hard. My mom was watching that video, like the old video the other day, and I can literally see the boots walking. But you want to be careful. You don't want to be stepping in someone else's stuff. You don't want to be stomping where you're not supposed to be stomping, okay? So the Wisdom Guide will definitely tune you in and keep you aligned to where you're meant to be. If you feel some type of way, you get out, baby. You get out now. Get home to mama. And you can always create that safe space energy. That's what alignment is really about. The very first step in alignment is creating a safe space for yourself, okay? It's getting a little brighter out there. We're starting to get the gold sheen right here. I'll fix it if it doesn't go away in like 5 seconds, because it's definitely one of those kind of days. Oh, it might get a little brighter. I doubt it. It's going to be a bit of a gray day, and I'm fine with that. Ugh, I'm so fine with that. In northern BC, Canada, the dark and like rich greens and blues of the mountains and the trees and the it's just so my landscape, you know. So I really hope that you are finding your true home and really dreaming about your dream home. Dream life is so much more complicated than dream home, and trust me, you could spend a lifetime dreaming up the perfect home, the most beautiful home. You could spend a lifetime living in it though instead, and I would highly recommend leaning into that action, leaning into that frequency of living in your dream home. And living on that land and in that way, okay? Whatever is holding you back is probably not as important as you think for those of us who are held back. Okay, we're going to get into the dragons next and see what they have to say about it. Boom, with the dragon oracle, and on the bottom, the air and water dragon. Love the balancing of the masculine feminine there. Helps you to connect to higher frequencies. This is key. Look at the energy of water and air working together there. Whew. Trust your intuition, develop your psychic abilities, and be open to enlightenment, and express your inner song. Air and water, emotional. Air is about the throat chakra and really being able to express and communicate, expressing your personal song. So that's what we're diving into the Akashic records for. That's what we are activating for here, is an expression, okay? And that's really important to understand, because that means that this isn't about your kids. This summer solstice energy is about you aligning to yourself, to something that you have to express. And it might be something totally stupid. Who cares? You're being called to express it anyways, okay? Maybe there's somebody that's really going to inspire. And we have to remember that even though we were traumatized by our embarrassment and shame in that moment, and we'll live forever as like, I can't believe I did that and sang karaoke. I can't believe I did that and made this thing, launched this thing, did this thing, blah, 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 blah. Somebody else was inspired by that and it changed their fucking life. Wow. Bottom of the deck. Gabriel's dragon, Archangel Gabriel's dragon, the white silk. We have seen this fucking dragon. There's another one too with the wings, like totally made of light, that's like giving that same vibe. Whereas here we've got like a wand kind of energy. Gabriel has been all up in the readings lately. Go back again to the Gemini, especially if you're really feeling this energy. Gemini new moon readings, there are 5 of them. They will do the most for you. They certainly do for me. This dragon brings purification, okay? Bottom of the deck for our whole reading now. Self-discipline will speed ascension and bring joy. Self-discipline is not about punishing yourself for doing wrong. It's about understanding what right and wrong is fundamentally, so that you're not so hard on yourself, so that you don't waste judgment that could be channeled elsewhere. You can carry Archangel Gabriel's diamond. Excellent time to wear diamonds, clear stones, carry quartz crystals, selenite on the altar, all of the things right now. It's not just diamonds, although if you do have diamonds, I'm not even really a huge, I love everything that is natural created on this planet. But I'm not a huge diamond person because of how fucked up and tainted that is in our timeline. So diamonds are a beautiful stone to carry right now, especially all summer long. You will get so much wonderful energy coming off of that. So I do recommend to get into it. Our card for this reading is Golden Christed Dragon. This is a phenomenal energy to have for the summer, because if any shit is going to go down this summer, it would be nice to know that we got Big Brother Jesus out here with us, because that's the vibe. That's the vibe I'm getting. This is Big Brother. He went to college. You know what I mean? We're still in our like sophomore year. That's how it's feeling. I love the energy coming through. Brings you higher love so that you embody the Christ light. If we're going to need compassion like that, that means we're going to see some shit this summer. with our eyes and with our heart. So the most important thing is to not let the mind run around out here. You got to bring the heart. You know what I mean? When you're getting dressed and you're going out and you're going to meet people and you're going to do things and you don't want to tonight, or you, whatever you got to do, don't just let the mind run the show. Okay? Because this shadow, when she's left alone, does all kinds of dumb shit. Bring the heart into it. Don't forget what the underlying purpose of everything you love and want and desire is. Otherwise, you know how it's going to go. It's going to feel real Gemini. Absorb the Christ light. You are protected. Expand your heart and remain fifth dimensional. Didn't we bring up the fifth dimension? So these are our 2 oracle cards so far for the reading. All kinds of we have not seen these colors around in a long time, but that is some beautiful energy to get started with. We've got one more oracle card to go with the goddesses. We're not going to leave our females out of this one, especially given that it's Canada Day. We need to really interpret how we love and respect Mother Earth and the feminine and masculine energies within us and in our situations and in the people closest to us. Okay, Gemini really will bring in that balance, getting us prepped for what just happened, which since the summer solstice crossed us, we got Saturn going retrograde, and it's going to be retrograding until November. So that's a big fucking planet all of a sudden moving backwards, which actually just gets stuck in the sky. So it's really creepy and uncomfortable. We're not going to go any harder on shuffling this because I see the 2 cards that come out and I just know that they're meant for us. So bottom of the deck, Hathor with pleasure. We're going to talk about her in a hot second. Inanna bracing the shadow, embracing, not bracing the shadow, embracing the shadow. And that's exactly where we're at here right now. Gemini season again taught us to integrate our shadows, and if not, don't worry, Leo season is coming. And by then, if we have not done any shadow work by August, I mean, maybe you're lucky, maybe you just didn't have to this year. But when you see people moving all kinds of crazy around you right now, meaning they are not acting from their heart space, they aren't even genuinely acting from a place of pleasure or expression or anything like that, they're just moving all through like janky ass. There is some nasty fucking vile energy out here to play with. And if people want to play, they shall. So here, as we move through it, the most important thing is just to recognize what's real around you and remain aligned within yourself. That's it. Simple as that. Boom. The shadow work will get done if you don't resist it. And Hathor, again, with pleasure as our theme on the bottom of the deck. This goddess is all about aggressive pleasure. Now you can take that a lot of different ways, and that's exactly what I mean about doing this shadow work. Okay, these 2 as a combination, not to be fucked with, not to, especially the things that we do that are pleasure filled that could be borderline light and dark, but if we do it wrong are always dark, like drugs, sex, yada yada yada, right? When we do it dark, it's always wrong. Do you see what I'm saying? Like pleasure can go dark really quickly under this season, but I especially feel this coming up for the back-to-back Capricorn full moons. So the next 2 full moons coming in July are going to be both Capricorn, and that's how we split our fucking calendar. We'll talk a lot more about that in the coming weeks, but here we're definitely taking this energy as full moon energy. So we're talking about the next 2-3 weeks, okay, when it comes to this energy spreading out and giving us some amazing, first thing I heard, amazing opportunities, and I'm like, yes, look, because we were talking about old world buildings, look where that dragon is sitting, right up on top of those Roman columns, you know, giving off all that heart space energy. It couldn't be more powerful. It couldn't be more perfect. Now is the time where love really does win, or the light wins. You know, at the end of every single movie, all the programming that we watch, what happens? You get a happy ending. If you like conspiracy, stick with me on this one, okay? At the end of every fairy tale, they lived happily ever after. And this isn't a A long time ago in a faraway land, people, oh, they lived happily ever after. Really? What did they teach us about that? Oh, that only ever happens in the movies. Oh, it only ever happens like that in the movies. Oh, you better come back to reality, huh? You better know your place. Think of how fucked up that is to say to someone. Think of how fucked up that is to say to yourself. You better know you better come back to reality. Ah, you're feeling too good. You're looking too good. You're feeling too good. You're going to move into things that are too good. You better come back to reality. And the answer has always been absolutely not. That's what's kept us secluded. That's what's kept us alone in the world, is feeling that nobody else is really about that life. My shadow just said, that's right. About that life, that grid life. This is real. The grid systems of the earth, they're called the ley lines. That's not like pretend. What do you need that to be? More science than it is? If you don't believe that it's science because you haven't looked it up, that's not fair. That's not fair. You know? Take my word for it. Science is the science. It smells like the spice of life. I'm not that sciencey, but where my spirit was like, prove it. And my mind was like, I'll fucking prove it. That's how I got my shadow involved, instead of the other way around. Instead of letting your mind be the thing that's just like, that only happens to other people. That only happens in the movies. That would have only been good if I was born this way, born that way. I'm to this, I'm to that. It's like, no. Let your shadow come in and be like, what'd you say? Let me go fucking find that truth real quick, and let your shadow be the one to do the research. Oh my God, trust me when I say they get that shit done quick. Super quick. Nobody, and that's why I was so good at like law and debating and sociology and psychology in school. It's because if you let your shadow do the work, damn man, nobody in that room is as prepared as for this argument as you are. She is harsh, man. She thought of everything. You're gonna say something back in the debate, and I got 16 fucking responses written out. All I'm gonna do is tick, 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 tick until I have destroyed you. And that was fun for me. That was fun. Debates and crushing the opponent. Holy fuck, man. I even learned, remember I was saying kids in public schools learn all the dark aspects of, you know, society and the world and stuff very quick, because when I was in school, I even learned how to make people not believe what they know is right in a debate. You know, just by having a really good argument and saying it in a way where you can't really argue. Kind of like if you are a nerd like me, like the way the elves can't, they can only speak the truth, the elves, but they find very creative ways to not tell you something they don't want to tell you. A truth they don't want to give up, because knowledge is power, especially amongst people like that. So you can definitely see where that plays out in our society. And if you remember what public school was like, that's what they're teaching us. You know, that's what academia really is about. It's a very competitive field of knowledge being power, and now knowledge is just like a free-for-all out here, and being the one in control of what the official narrative is has been power for a very long time, and that's about to get blown to shit. That's what it's saying in my grid lines. Okay, bottom of the deck, we're going to start out with 5 of Cups as just a little peek of a theme to get us started. So we're not focusing on the things that aren't working out here, okay? When it comes to the summer solstice, there's going to be loss. There's going to be all kinds of chaos, all kinds of craziness. If the sun doesn't blow us all to hell, then who knows, we could have some fun this summer. First card, oh, it's too many. I don't take more than 5 and it's 6, but that's okay because I do want to show you this King of Cups. In just about every time I pick up my cards, King of Cups comes out for the summer season, for the readings I'm currently doing. So King of Cups is the mastery of the water element from the masculine standpoint. So it's really understanding that when you're feeling really bad and you don't want to feel bad anymore, then taking action, being logical, keeping your hands busy, you know, doing the things that you'll read in just about any self-help book really is going to help you. It's like a keep it simple, stupid kind of message. Don't overthink it, because the masculine energy is kind of known for once the energy gets flowing so strong that there's nothing left to think about, they just want to take action, to the point where impatience can be a little much, right? You don't want to jump the gun. As we get yet another freaking stack and one face down. We'll take the one that came out clearly first, and it is the Eight of Fire, Eight of Wands. Like I said, once things get moving here, they're gonna be moving, and this is the card that really wants to come out with it. So embracing the shadow in a really big way. There's gonna be a lot of action, a lot of opportunity. I just keep feeling action, action, action. So, you know, good to be prepared, washed up and relatively organized, but it doesn't have to be perfect, because once things get going, it's not going to matter as much if things are spotless, perfect, color coordinated, and alphabetical. Do you know what I mean? Like, my closet is never more disorganized than when I'm actually going out, actually using the clothes, yada yada. So expect the unexpected, but also be prepared for some action. We got a whole bunch of cards, so I'm going to lay them out and then we will read them. Second card out, the Nine of Cups. We've got more water, and I love from the 8 to the 9 there, because the 9 is the alignment of everything that we desire, and it makes it really, really easy to see it when we feel it as clearly as we do with Nine of Cups. Look at that sun blazing in the background. Gorgeous. Centrally, we're going to have the Page of Pentacles. Again, that feeling of like really wanting to study something, do something, start something, get to know something. There's like information that we're missing that we want. Fourth card out is the Five of Swords. A little bit gnarly with that energy there. Yeah, there's kind of the feeling of somebody like holding on to something, like maybe resources, knowledge that we really want. Here's a perfect example of how, like, am I putting down my coffee for this? Yes. Here's a perfect example of how this energy is reading to me. Since this is central, this is any message that comes out around this card is very important. This feels like somebody bogarting knowledge or resources that you're like a little bitter about. So to me, it feels like the Vatican archives. I don't think I could say that any more EBINOTTI than I just fucking said that. Do you know what I mean? Since I was a kid, I will not go away. I will not go away. Fifth card out and final, coming out beside this Five of Swords, we have the Knight of Swords. If I can get that to focus. Boom, boom. Knight of Swords is really, really powerful energy, like all the warriors in tarot are. I love the warrior energy because it makes you just feel safe, like knowing that the knights are out here. But finishing that one off the way that we did is going to be a little gnarly. I'm very curious to see the clarifiers, so we'll go back to that in a second. Our final card that came out in that stack, but not our final card in the reading. This is our first clarifier, clarifying the Eight of Wands, our first card out. And it's the Ten of Pentacles. So literally couldn't be any quicker on the resources incoming than something like this. So we'll get into that as well. Okay, going back to it. With our second card out, the Nine of Cups, because we started with really, really quick energy moving towards us, especially fire energy, the way I was coming into this reading, embracing the shadow, Christ light is out. When Big Brother comes out, it's because someone needs to get beat up. You know, so when all this energy is moving towards you really quick, I'm just like, what's this about? And then you see this beautiful blazing sun sitting atop a tower of nothing but yummies. I don't know what's going on there, but I want to eat it all. The fruit and the berries. It's giving me like brunch vibes. Oh, the Caribbean brunch at the Ritz. Fuck yeah. And still the best food I ever had in the Caribbean was at someone's fucking house. Straight up. Okay. So don't let anyone tell you what luxury is. If you're called to go somewhere or do something, you feel like all lined up to all this beautiful abundance. Whew, go to the cookout. You know what I mean? It's gonna be the best food you've eaten in ages. That kind of a vibe. I love my belly just felt, I feel full. I feel full of beautiful ribs and fried rice and all kinds of wonderful food. I'm just like so happy right now. And centrally, this Page of Pentacles is giving, because this is a manifester. This isn't some magician who's like all out here with his magic and stuff doing alchemy. No, this is the purest form of manifestation because it's so authentic. It's new. That means there's a new energy, a new resource. You see, especially because we already saw that 10 of Wands, the 10 of Pentacles. It's like we already know that's resources incoming and stuff like that. So that's what the focus is. When you're focused and aligned to exactly what you put your energy into, it starts to come into the real world. Pentacles are earth energy, okay? That is physical. And ain't that the way of it? Some funky ass, janky ass energy comes out here and tries to get you off path. So this is what's coming. It's a little test. It's a little challenge, okay? Because what you're lining up to is big, big. There's nothing bigger than the 10s, 10 of Pentacles. So big wealth, big opportunity, big something coming. I love it. I'm feeling it all. But in that, I can tell you, I'm like big sis. I got this energy. Well, I will fucking kill. If you test, if you take, if you hurt my family, you know what I mean? And that's the energy here with the finishing us off in this spread. The 5th card being the Knight of Swords. Somebody's going to come in and really test you, okay? So being little sis, I grew up as little sis. I got a big brother. I'm the baby of a huge Portuguese family. Being little sis, it's nice to not need to be protected. And that's kind of the energy I'm feeling. You're so protected in the astral realm, spiritually, from the work that you do as like literally, I just heard like a spirit monster. I heard so many different things coming from your grid work, the specific kind of work that you do on your ley lines. If you want to look into that, look into that. Look at the legends, the ley lines, the old world architecture in your area, and you'll get a feel for what kind of work you do in the grid work if you're curious. But here, it's nice to be the warrior because you're strong. So what I learned about my gifts is it's here. I can escalate and I can de-escalate energy very quickly. It made me a great bartender. You can't always stop a fight or something like that. A lot of times things are out of your control, but there are times where with your energy, you can be a small person with a loud presence, okay? So feeling very Christed, very spiritually ascended here. And when it comes down to it, embracing the shadow is really about being that master. So no matter how quickly this energy comes, no matter how many of these wands are trying to help you, hinder you, get you through the heart, it's like you know who and what you are, and you have all the alignments, okay? So 10 of Pentacles is talking about being fully aligned in the physical. You know, if you're emotionally, we're going to see and get a clarifier for this card, the 9 of Cups next. But if you're emotionally aligned in the physical and things start moving very, very quickly, as long as your spiritual body is kind of integrated and embracing your shadow, then this should be nothing but beautiful things happening around you. And yes, there are demons present, and that's why I'm talking about it like I am. Because that 5 of Swords is so obviously the main card in the reading, and everything is giving you what you need to know about this. There's a betrayal here. There's a dispassionate person. I just heard when I looked at Hathor, yikes. So be very careful about people that are just too smooth with their words. Look who's underneath Hathor on the bottom of the deck. With inspiration, we have Bridget. Okay, if you don't know nothing about the 3, the trifecta that's going on right there, then don't worry too much about it. But that's a huge power activation for people that need that Celtic energy. Oh, and it's still so early. We are right on track. I bet you 20 bucks says when I go out there, babe's gonna be having a nap anyways. Oh, why is it so many today? Tell me. We can't take all of those because that's like 46 cards. 1, 2, 3. We'll take the 3. Wow. Oh, the warnings on warnings. Coming out to clarify our 9 of Cups, we have the fucking Tower. We have the Tower, baby. It doesn't get any worse than the Tower. I mean, there's a lot of things that you can read tarot for, but the Tower is just kind of like, surprise. This is going to be fucking crazy. And the crossing energy on the tower, so like in the 4 block of cards, it'll be the diagonal. The crossing is that 8 of Wands, so it's really showing that when you align, it is inevitable that things are going to go just crazy around you, whether that's people's janky energy around you doing what it needs to do. Karmic, you know, affects us all. Family, friends, the thing, you know, all of the things, especially when it comes to those closest to us. There's nothing you can do about this. Okay, all you can do is continue to align, move forward, and keep it positive. Keep it fucking 1-2 out here, and you're going to be fine. This is divine intervention. People forget that. When they see that lightning, that's not just some rando god. That is creator. Like, pew pew, okay? No lesser gods. Essentially, right beside the tower, we have the Moon card coming out to clarify our Page of Pentacles. Shit is all. I'm just taking a second to really process it. Shit. Again, the double full moon Capricorn coming this summer is going to be really heavy, but in the best of ways, okay? Because we started this off with understanding that loss and grief is something that's natural and that we have to process. So with the tower, things are getting changed out here. Nothing is going to stay the same. And I'm not saying like in the world, in politics, in your country. I just mean in your world. When you're ambitious and you want, summer is the season of hard work and change. It is the season of fire, okay? When we really get to thrive and put in that work. So if you all of a sudden align or you've been aligned, you've been doing the work for like more than seasons, for years, or just some seasons, and all of a sudden the resources become available because the time shifted and clicked for that specific golden thread, boom, you get this type of opening where it's very dark. It starts very dark, okay? I like it. I like trial by fire. I'm the type of person where when I want something bad enough and the fear is slow cutting, I would rather just like, boom, you know, like, let's get in there. Let's do this. I don't want to pussyfoot around when this is something authentic and real that feels aligned to me. I don't try to push in that realm anymore. And I think that's a big message for the collective is this is alignment. And this is big brother. So like duty or bloodline, natural for you, your meant path, like it's family you didn't get to choose. And this is the grid work. Again, another thing you didn't get to choose. You didn't get to choose where on the ley lines you were born. You, as far as we know, didn't get to choose where you come from. Do you see what I'm saying? So this is like fated. And I guess this is why we got the 3 oracle cards, because we always just do the 2, but and once you understand that the fated part of it just needs to be aligned and accepted, because that hasn't happened. For a lot of us it has. This tower moment has happened, or the alignment that we needed has happened, but for those of us who haven't, this is about to be like pop. I just heard a huge pop, like the bubble bursts. Kind of in our past energy, but again, it's about understanding and embracing and accepting who and what we are so we can actually get some shit done out here, because your demons, because they're multiple, and your shadow, there's one of those. When your angel and your demon come together, or your shadow and your higher self come together, you create alignment that activates power. Remember, I was talking about alignment isn't always about activation. Activation is about needing to get the work done. These are your clarifiers to say that there is work to be done. Now, this is not because you haven't done work. This is because you have. And this is what it's going to look like. Technically, they go like that. Let me see how he's looking at it. Oh, he just looking at that dream home. Look at that dream home, that little hobbit hole there. Ooh, this isn't some dingy hole. This is a fucking hobbit hole. And that means good food, a warm hearth, and all the comforts of home. This is the second time I've seen this combination very recently, like in the last, 36 hours. Okay, 5 of Swords, clarified by the Ace of Swords, immediately taking us to 6 of Swords, which is calm, baby. It is a beautiful kayak ride through Banff. You know, like literally look up Banff. It is Instagram whoring at its finest. But my point is that from every challenge come a lesson, from every betrayal come a truth. That person was never your friend, your partner, or meant for you today, in that moment. The moment the thing changes, and that's how quick it happens. That's how quick you understand that something isn't for you. It never takes time unless you were denying it in the first place, which is fine. We make our choices, we live our lessons, we be who we be, no judgment. Only love out here, because I know what you're going for and I know what you're worth just by looking at this. It's also important to recognize that we have a 10 and a 1 out here. And when you get that, you get the full cycle. Okay, so you're allowed to, I mean, again, with the Tower out here, there's not a lot of choice. But you're allowed to do this quickly. You're allowed to be the one who pulls the trigger. You're allowed to let this happen. You do not need to try to, you cannot. That's the big message that's coming through, because that Knight is also touching that Ace of Swords, which means like on the diagonal, again, the diagonals are really important in your reading today. The Knight that's touching that Ace of Swords is not willing. There's an energy within you or around you that is not willing to 5 ones across the clock when I was about to say this. It's not willing to let it slide this time, meaning you are meant for bigger, better, badder, bestest, all the b-b-bs. You're meant for the best. You're going for the best. You will not put up with less than that, and that's what this is. So it feels like something is getting cut the fuck out of your life. The Ace of Swords is a very good weapon for cutting. And we have one last card to get out to clarify our Knight of Swords and see what more needs to be said in this season, because I was going to say in this lesson, but it's not. I mean, of course it's going to be a lesson, but this is just life. There are beautiful, amazing opportunities coming towards you. The amount of love and support you're going to feel from people will probably bring you to tears at least once this summer season, where you find a friend. I'm hearing you got a friend in me. Like, Jesus, Toy Story for real. All the good vibes of like having a best friend when you're a kid, like your first best friend that like it actually was genuine. Even if it doesn't last, it's still like, it's really a beautiful energy of kind of dorky or quirky or unique, or just bestie energy, okay? Being loved, accepted, mirrored, kind of all the things. Boom. And there it is. Bottom of the deck, talking about the 10s and the 1s coming out here for you. Bottom of the deck, we have card number 10 from the Major Arcana, Wheel of Fortune. This is the 3 sisters of fate energy, past, present, and future. That's why this card is about destiny. And I couldn't help but notice, because my finger was sticking on it, Major Arcana number 5 underneath with the Hierophant, the priest, the safe space of the cathedral. We started by talking about the Milan Cathedral. If you have not looked it up yet, what the hell? Google Milan Cathedral, Cologne Cathedral, Budapest Castle, Pink Palace, all the beautiful old world buildings, and then find them in your own cities and understand that history is indeed. Okay, this fate is about luck as much as it is about destiny. Now, when we have the Tower out here and we get Wheel of Fortune on the bottom, there's going to be more fate than it is destiny. Meaning destiny is like, you know, some adventure you go on, like Harry Potter was fulfilling his destiny. Fate is when you get like some shit happen and it seems crazy, but it's for you. So luck and fate and luck. You could literally interact. There's going to be a very intense season, and it's going to be so beautiful. I'm seeing all the celebrations, all the wonderful things that people do together, and some destinations that I've never envisioned before. So I'm guessing y'all are dreaming about going on trips, or you're planning trips, or you're in places as we speak. Final clarifier, 4 of Swords coming out with the Knight of Swords. Now, I don't know if you noticed entirely, but our last 4 cards, all swords, meaning the last 2 in our reading and the 2 clarifiers they got, 5 of Swords clarified by the Ace of Swords, Knight of Swords clarified by the 4 of Swords. Who we shit. we get the 10 energy coming out again, which is really great because it's signifying the ending, which is why this is so relevant. But once again, Gemini season is lingering. Do you know what I mean by that? It's the air element and it's lingering. Oh God, if you know, Pisces, as a Pisces, not the best with the air element, but I fucking try, okay? I try. So here the mental space gets a little rattled, needs to take a bit of a break and slow its roll, and that's fine. You might have like a motor mouth thing going on like I do right now, where you're just like, wow, am I talking? Like, I should stop talking. And that's not like some kind of down on yourself energy. It's like, no, you're literally vomiting words. Why are you doing that? Your brain to mouth needs to be as beautifully refined and coordinated as your hand to mouth. Hand to mouth? No. Well, yeah, you don't want to be getting food in your eye, but I was trying to say brain to hand, brain hand. Wow, see, this is how bad it is. So just a heads up, things might get a little on the chip choppy side here, and it's not surprising. So give yourself some space this summer to spend some time with yourself, or just expect to need to be in control of your emotions, because that's exactly what this feels like. A little embarrassing. I'm getting some embarrassment in the back. Right back here, there's a little bit of pain, which is like, ooh, that one for me is anger. The trigger there is anger, which is annoyance. I don't like what I see. Don't like what you're saying. I don't like what I'm hearing. I don't like what's going on. And I get that kind of in the back of my fucking, you know. Again, it's Canada Day, so it's like, oh, let's go out and be social. And I'm like, yes, let's. Okay, so doing the most to embrace the shadow. Why are you not focusing? Look how bright it is. Okay, anyways, embracing the shadows. And when it comes down to it, air really just tells you that the mind is going to be at the forefront. So we are probably going to be doing a lot of wonderful and exciting things, more so than, you know, having to make big decisions and things like that. It's like, no, just letting the mind process everything that's going on. We're enjoying time and space and things together. But it also means, like I said before, don't leave the heart out of it. You want to bring your heart with you when you're making decisions, being social. Don't forget that it's not all about you. As soon as you tap into the heart, if you're like feeling like very self-centered, you're probably very much so in your mind. But if you're going to have a social day, try to like let the mind take a day off, or take some hours off, and let the heart come out to play for a little bit. It'll really help, especially with the moon being centrally. Like, we can do things for a first time and have it be a wonderful experience. We can also do things for the first time and have it be a little bit of a rocky experience, chipped at our exterior a little bit. Okay, so with all the offers and all the opportunities and then the chaos around us, we want to make sure we can pull the thread and really say yes to the things that are meant for us here, and not just be focused on the dark. So most important thing, and finishing us off with the Four of Swords, the most important thing to understand here is what is out of our control is meant to be out of our control. When we need to rest, that is also out of our control. Okay, we got to do what we got to do here. So taking good care of ourselves, focusing on the pleasure, the lighter things in life, and realizing that a lot of the reason we don't have energy right now is because the spirit body got a broken toe. In the spirit astral realm, remember it gave us that word, in the astral realm, we are getting our asses fucking kicked here. Not like we're losing, it's like we are fighting the fight of our lives though. You know? The fuck else do you think is going? It's almost election season, baby. What the hell do you think is going on out here? That's it. We're going to leave that one right there. I love you so much. Make sure you are watching your favorite shows, taking good care of yourself, aligning to, so that when activation time comes, baby, we are fucking ready. Full power online. Okay? I love you so much. I will see you in your next reading.